Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. In this session, we're going to focus on inner and outer hip and thigh and shoulder. I'm using a yoga block and a towel and a small cushion. You can also use a rolled up towel here for your underarm or your lower side, sorry. I also have a strap, something that can hold on to that doesn't stretch too much. And I also have a selection of lighter weights. I have from half a pound to just under 3 pounds. Anywhere within that range is great. And I do recommend you have a selection for you in case you want to go down a weight, but don't want to use no weight at all. You can also make the decision to use no weight. That is totally wonderful as well. So I'm going to start on my side, the top arm, that I have a harder time with generally, the one that needs more encouragement to do things. That's what I'm going to start on. I'm laying on my side with my little pillow here or rolled up towel under my lower ribs. That's going to give space for my shoulder. And that's going to become really integral for the second part of this series. I'm using a yoga block here, so I'm in pretty decent alignment in terms of I'm looking like I'm in one long line if I was standing. My bottom knee is bent forward. My top knee is bent forward. A small arch to my lower back. Now, I'm going to use my heavier weight to start. You can use no weight. You can always go down a weight or add a weight as you need to. The first thing here, eyes, chest, hips facing forward directly, elbow bent above your waist, shoulders stacked over your body perpendicular to the floor. Make sure it's not forward or back as we go along. This upper arm bone stays on the ceiling side of your shoulder. Feet stay together. Just rotate the top arm and top knee. Maintain a small arch to your lower back and lower down. That's all we're doing. Just this over and over again. Breathe deeply. 9. Things to watch out for here. 8 is that this top shoulder goes forward and back when you're trying to rotate the arm bone. To make sure the arm bone itself does not go forward or back, it stays right above the waist on the ceiling side, not in front of it or behind. 6. Easy. The elbow stays bent and stays close to your body. 5. So try not to lift the arm as you rotate it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different exercise. 4. Breathe deeply. Small arch to your lower back. 3. The hip does not rotate when the thigh lifts. Breathe deeply. 2. Easy. Breathe. You can take a pause. You can always hit pause. Here's round 2. 10. Easy. Take your time here. Breathe deeply. 9. Keep this weight way off the floor because when the weight comes to the floor, you're moving your arm bone to get it to the floor. 7. The upper arm bone needs to stay right on the top side, the ceiling side of your upper side, of your top side. 5. Ooh, that's hard to say. Keep the arm bone on the ceiling side of the top of your body. 4, which is the side. Breathe deeply. Gentle. 3, gentle, small arch to your lower back. You can always take breaks. You can always use a lighter weight. You can always opt for a heavier weight as well. You can take a break here. Here's our last round already. It goes by. Bing, bang, boom. 10. Take your time. Take your time. Make sure the leg and arm don't slam down to the floor. 9. Control that descent. Try not to press your head down against the block to gain bearing there. 7. Let it rest like it's on a pillow, looking forward with your eyes and chest. 6. Easy, gentle, breathe deeply. 5, take your time, easy, you're doing really well here. 4, control the descent, very nice, breathe deeply. 3, excellent everyone, breathe deeply. 2, head resting, keep the arm on the ceiling side of your body. 1, and take a little rest. Now I know myself, I'm going to start with my lightest weight. You can also use no weight here at all. Stretch your top leg long, it could be on the floor or in the air, or you can rest it on top of a yoga block here, something to keep it off the floor in case when the leg lowers down that feels too uncomfortable on your top or bottom hip. Now the elbow starts in the same position. It's going to stay bent. The trick here is as you bring the elbow forward, the wrist and elbow stay parallel to the floor. They're the same height. What's going to want to happen is that elbow's going to want to lift and the arm's going to want to go lower. That was being dramatic. It's just going to want to go a little lower. Try not to. The goal is to keep this forearm parallel to the floor. So I really recommend trying no weight first because it is a lot harder than you think it will be, right? I'm going to start with a light weight. I'm probably going to drop it at some point. As the elbow comes forward, the knee comes forward because we're going to do shoulder and hip and then return. 10. It's hard to keep the hand the same height as the elbow here. 9, the whole time. It's going to want to drop down even a little bit. 8, you've got to keep bringing the elbow down and knuckles up towards the sky. 7, easy, breathe gently. The elbow just stays bent. 6, you're bringing that hand towards your face. Try not to stretch the arm bone. 5, because you'll lose the rotation of the upper arm bone here. Breathe deeply. 4, really great job. Control, gentle. 3, easy, head resting. Again, breathe deeply. 2, one more time. Control, and I need to drop my weight, take a little rest. round 2. Here we go. 10, easy breathe, take your time. Keeping your wrist and hand the same height as the elbow really encourages the fibers, soft tissue fibers of your shoulder girdle to work supportively, 8, in a great position. You can feel how challenging this is. 7, breathe deeply. Should not be overly painful, but it might be on the intense side. 6, easy breathe, keeping that hand and elbow the same height. 5, the whole time is really challenging. Breathe deeply. 4, think of reaching your elbow forward. It's not about the hand reaching forward, it's about the elbow going forward and pointing forward in space. 3, you can see my hand comes towards my face. 2, really good job there. One more time. Oh, and a little rest. Oh, I could really use a longer break, but we have to move on. Here we go, last round. Hand and elbow the same height. 10, take your time. Easy, breathe gently. 9, control. Body stays very still. Gentle. 8, little arch to your lower back. Take a break as you need to. 7, keep bringing the elbow down and hand up to help you. Breathe deeply. 6, take a break. No big deal. Easy. Breathe. 5, elbow down, arm up, palm up. Breathe deeply. Get that wrist up. 4, elbow down, same height, forearm parallel to the floor. 3, I know it gets really challenging. Reach the elbow forward in space. 2, especially as the elbow goes forward, it gets hard on that shoulder. Rest. Oh my God, that was so stimulating. Really good job. Now I'm going to flip over and go the other way around. You can always hit pause if my transitions are too quick for you. But it's going to be the exact same setup, right? In terms of we have something for our ribs to rest on, and we have something for our head to rest on, just so the shoulder has an easy time to move. And that'll make sense as we do part 2 of this series. Knees bent together. I'm starting with my heavier weight. You don't have to. You don't need a weight at all to start here. Again, keep the shoulder from going forward or back. It stays on the ceiling side of you. Same thing for your elbow, upper arm bone as well. Knees together. Keep the weight off the floor, because when a weight goes to the floor, you can see the upper arm bone comes forward of my body here. Easy. So you're going to rotate the top arm and top knee lifts. Return, head resting, little arch to your lower back. Breathe deeply. 9. And this bottom shoulder is getting a gentle stretch here. You might feel that. 8. You might not. No big deal. Make sure you're comfortable. 7, gentle arch to your lower back. Breathe deeply. 6, I can already feel the difference in this shoulder. Breathe deeply. 5, the shoulder just has an easier time with exercise generally. 4, and I forgot to mention, we started with the harder side. 3, so that I know when I go to this side, I wouldn't use a heavier weight on this arm that I did in the other arm. 2, easy breathe. You can take a break. I'm going into round 2. You can always take a break. Easy breathe. 10, you want to be as even as possible when you're lifting weights or moving things. 9, for exercise. Specifically so the weaker side doesn't always just stay so far removed. 7, from the easier side. 6, control, breathe deeply. So even though I could lift more weight, 5, with this arm, I'm not going to. 4, until the other arm can lift this amount of weight easily. 3, and then I would try to move the harder side up a little bit. 2, and see how long you can do that. And I'll do the same thing on this arm here. 1, little rest, last round when you're ready. Little arch to your lower back. 10, eyes and chest and hips facing forward. Breathe deeply. 9, keep the elbow on the ceiling side of your torso, not in front or behind it. 8, keep the shoulder as well from going forward or back. 7, the arm bone and leg bone, try not to let them just fall down to the floor. 6, resist gravity with the weight, of course. Breathe deeply. 5, you're resisting the weight and gravity. It's double duty there on the arm and shoulder. 4, fantastic work, everyone. Great job there. 3, really powerful. Breathe deeply. 2, one more time. Really great job. And then rest. Really good job. Now I'm going to slide this top leg on. And again, if you used a yoga block here, you can let the leg rest on the yoga block on this side as well. Even though you may not feel like you need it, you want to be symmetrical. I'm going to use a weight here to start. The elbow is at my waist, right? And the same thing here, as the arm bone goes forward, try not to let the knuckles go higher or lower than the elbow. Try and keep them the same height as much as you can. Here we go. The bent arm comes forward, the bent knee goes forward, and return. 10. Again, keep the elbow bent, bring the elbow forward, not arm long, easy. The elbow stays really bent. The hand comes right towards your face. 8. Easy breathe. Keep the knuckles, you see my arm bone dropped already. 7, keep those knuckles lifting up and elbow dropping down a bit. 6, not higher, just parallel is fine. Breathe deeply. 5, keep that lower back very still. Reach that elbow forward in space. 4, Really good work there. Take your time, breathe deeply. 3, head resting. Excellent work. Keep the wrist and elbow the same height. 2, as the elbow, keep it bent. Don't reach the hand, reach the elbow forward. Hand goes towards your head. 1, rest. On the other side, I drop the weight. I'm going to drop the weight here, even though on this side, I don't really need to. It's not easy, but I can do another round with that weight if I had to, if I wanted to, I should say. 9, no one's making me. I'm not being held against my will here. 8, take your time, breathe. Keep the wrist and elbow the same height. 7, keep the elbow really bent. You're going to want to stretch the arm long overhead. Try not to. That's a different exercise. The arm bone actually unwinds. 5, when the arm goes overhead long. That's not the goal here. We're keeping in a very specific position. 4, by keeping this forearm parallel to the floor. 3, you can always take a break, head resting. Easy, gentle. 2, really good work here. Breathing. Take a break as you need to. 1, little rest. Now we have one more round here. Here we go. You can always take a longer break, no big deal. 10. Again, keep the forearm parallel to the floor. Start above your waist, reach the elbow forward in space. 9. It's not about the hand reaching overhead. Bring the hand towards your face. 8. Easy breathe. Keep the forearm parallel to the floor. 7. As much as you can. Wrist and elbow parallel. 6. Even to each other, the same height from the floor. 5, take a break, little arch to your lower back, breathe deeply. 4, fantastic work everyone, nice job there, easy. 3, we're almost done, keep your body very still, breathe deeply. 2, really powerful. One more time, control, you made it through and rest. Excellent job. We're gonna go back to the side. Now that was more what I would call our outer shoulder and hip, and now we're gonna do more of the inner shoulder and hip. That's just what I'm calling. That's not quite anatomically what's exactly going on, but that's good enough to have words about it. Now, I have my weights for me here. Now my top foot's going to be on the floor. This is why our strap is here. Maybe for you, having this top foot on the floor doesn't feel quite natural, right? So you could put the strap around it and your same side hand, your top hand on it to help keep that foot where it is comfortably. It could be far away from you. That's fine. It doesn't be close to you. But as long as it is cross and whole foot on the floor, hips as square, which means they're parallel to the wall in front of you as much as you can. Right. Now, I'm going to have my bottom leg straight, and I am using 2 weights together for this first exercise. You don't have to, right? You can use whatever weight works best for you. This bottom arm bone is going to be off the floor the whole time. I'm going to rotate the weights to the sky and lift my bottom leg and lower, keeping this bottom arm bone off the floor as much as you can. That's why this towel or pillow is really helpful here. 9, to give you space for your shoulder to move. Breathe deeply. 8. Easy. You're going to rotate the arm as far as you can one way. 7, and try not to touch the floor unless you absolutely have to. Breathe deeply. 6, with the elbow. The knuckles can touch the floor here. 5, but this upper arm bone does not touch the floor as much as you can. Breathe deeply. 4, take your time, head resting. Easy. 3, really great job everyone. Breathe deeply. 2, the leg bone lifts and lowers. You can take a break. We're going on to round 2 already. Isn't that nice? Breathe deeply. 10, head resting. Take your time, body facing forward. 9, it just lowers and lifts. Breathe deeply. 8, body stays very still, arm bone off the floor. 7, you can keep the leg bone off the floor as well. You can just lower it a bit and lift it. 6, or it can rest down every time. It's your choice. 5, but this arm bone stays off the floor if you can. 4, if not, let it rest down. No big deal there. 3, you don't lose a lot. Breathe deeply. 2, by having the arm bone on the floor. Breathe deeply. You can take a break, or I'm going on. You can always hit pause. 10, it's our last round already. Breathe deeply. 9. So you can probably feel how this is your inner leg easily. 8, that's easy to feel. Breathe deeply. 7, fantastic work everyone. Breathe deeply. 6, nice job, easy. 5, fantastic work here. Breathe. 4, keeping the arm bone in the air. 3, as much as you can. Breathe deeply. 2. One more time. 1, and then take a little rest. Now we're just going to practice this next motion with the bottom leg first. You're going to keep the thigh on the floor, just bend the knee, foot goes behind you, and then return. This is all the leg bone's going to do, but it's going to be in the air while it does it, right? Ideally. Right? It's just this motion with the bottom leg. Now let's try the bottom leg in the air. It's the same thing, just keeping that bottom leg in the air the whole time. And that's what the leg does. The arm bone has this, right? So you're going to bring the weights towards you. You can use no weights here or less weights. I'm going to try the same amount to start and feel. I'll adjust it as I go along. all you're doing is lifting the arm bone and lowering the arm bone. Now my arm is as far towards my other arm as it can be, right? As if I'm doing a wrestling match, right? I'm trying to slam the palm, not slam, trying to reach my palm towards the floor as far as I go. In that rotation, I'm lifting the arm bone and lowering it. Lifting and lowering, right? It stays in that position, just lift and lower, right? The leg bone does not lift and lower, it bends and straightens. It's a bit confusing, I understand, but let's try. Lift that bottom leg bone in the air. Now, as the knee bends, the arm bone lifts, leg straighten, arm bones lower. Again, lift and lower. 9, the knee bends and straightens. 8, you can keep this arm bone off the floor as well if you want to. 7, or it can come down every time. 6, that thigh bone stays in the air or rest it as you need to. 5, take your time, breathe deeply. 4, excellent work everyone, head resting. 3, really great job there, breathe. 2, you can take a break, I'm moving on. Oh, this does get heavy though. 10, again, you're lifting your elbow, you're not straightening your arm. 9, that's a different exercise. 8, just keep it bent and keep the palm towards the floor. 7, as much as you have comfort, breathe deeply. 6, excellent work everyone, breathe deeply. 5, so you can feel, hopefully this is a different part of your shoulder. 4, from what we did in the last series, breathe deeply. 3, easy breathe. 2, you can take a break if you need to. I'm doing the last round, take your time. Breathe deeply. 10, that thigh bone just stays in the air the whole day. 9, take your time. Thigh bone stays behind you as well. 8, so as you bend the knee, try not to let the knee come forward. 7, right, it just stays back there. 6, breathe deeply. 5, oh, it gets heavy quick. 4, excellent work, breathe deeply. 3, very nice job. 2, one more time. 1, and rest. Oh, that was really, really great. Now you have options here. You could have stayed on the other side that we just were on and just switched positions. I switched sides just because I want to change my body relative to gravity, right? So I want to just go on my other side just because of gravity. However, if you really had an arm that was quite, let's say this left side was remarkably weaker, I would have stayed on this side over here and just done this whole series that we just did. I forgot to mention that, apologies. But it's also helpful to switch side to side in terms of body position and gravity, because your body is resisting gravity here, even though you're supported, right? So that's what I'd say about that. I switched sides because I wanted to change my body position, and my arm bones, my soft tissues aren't that dissimilar, right? I know that I can do this weight on this quote-unquote weaker side. I'm pretty sure this weight will not be impossible. So that's why I chose to switch sides and not stay on this side and focus on what is my quote-unquote harder side, right? I forgot to mention that, apologies. So put the top foot on the floor in front of you. Again, you can use your strap or not. Make sure your body's in one long line. I'm using the same weight here, the arm bones in the air, right? Eyes and chest facing forward. I'm gonna lift the leg and rotate the arm, then return. Again, this bottom arm bone just stays in the air. 9, easy breathe. I'm pivoting where my elbow is. 8, you can tell it's like a little metronome. Here's the axis. 7, easy breathe. That's right, take your time. 6, the arm bone just stays up in the air. The leg lifts and lowers. 5, take your time. Lift and lower. 4, head resting. Lift and lower. 3, small arch to your lower back. Arm bone stays in the air. 2, you can take a break. I'm going on to round 2. Breathe deeply. 10. Easy. Those knuckles can come on the floor. 9, but the upper arm bone does not. 8, unless you want it to, they can. Breathe deeply. 7, take your time. Breathe deeply. 6, excellent work. So even though this weight is doable for me, 5, I can feel there's a slight difference in lack of control. 4, specifically as that palm faces the floor here. 3, that's rather challenging, and that's good. That's what the exercise is for. 2, easy breathe. We have one more round to go. Here we go. You can take a break. I'm moving on. 10, easy, gentle, take your time. 9, head resting, arm bone, leg bone. 8, you're doing really well, head resting, breathe deeply. 7, small arch to your lower back. 6, try not to press your head down against the block for support. 5, just let it rest like it's on a proverbial pillow. 4, you're doing really well here. 3, fantastic work everyone, breathe deeply. 2, one more time. 1, and now take a little rest. Now let's review. This bottom leg, right? The thigh bone stays where it is, your knee bends, the foot goes back behind you, and straighten the knee to return it forward. The foot goes behind you, return. What may happen is that knee may go forward as you bend it, and then back. Try not to move your thigh bone here. That's my thigh bone moving. My thigh bone stays still, the knee bends, the foot goes back. Try not to move your thigh bone, but the leg bone will be in the air as you do that, right? You can try that a couple times to get used to that, and let it rest. Now the arm, again, just like you're wrestling, arm wrestling, like Sylvester Stallone in that movie where he's a truck driver and an arm wrestler. Yeah, really good, right? You're gonna bring that palm towards the floor as much as you can, and you're just gonna lift it and lower it like that. That's all you're gonna do with it, right? Try not to straighten it and lift it, right? That's a different exercise. Keep the palm towards the floor as much as you can and lift and lower. The arm bone can be on the floor and off the floor, or it can stay off the floor and go away from it more and come towards it. That's your choice. That leg bone is going to stay in the air the whole time unless that doesn't feel good to you. All right, I've talked a lot. Let's get ourselves set up. Here we go. As I lift the arm bone, the knee bends, foot goes behind, and then return and lower. Again, 9. Take your time, breathe deeply. 8. Try not to lift the hand. 7. As you lift the elbow. 6. The palm goes towards the floor. 5. The whole time there. Breathe deeply. 4. You're lifting your elbow, not your palm to the sky. 3. Great job. 2. Head resting. Breathe. You can take a break. I'm moving on. Take your time. 10. Easy breathe. 9. And I can feel how challenging this is on this arm. 8. In my end range. Breathe deeply. 7. It's doable, but not as easy. 6. As it was on the other side potentially. 5. Lift the elbow, not the arm. 4. Not the hand. Breathe deeply. 3. Elbow, palm towards the floor. 2. As much as it can be. Thigh bone in the air. Last round. Take a break if you need to. 10. Take your time. Breathe. 9. Lift your elbow, not the hand. 8. Palm towards the floor the whole day. 7. Excellent work, everyone. Breathe deeply. 6. This is around 3 already. I know it went by fast. 5. Try not to lift the hand like I just did. 4. Lift the elbow. I'm getting tuckered. 3. Head resting. Breathe deeply. 2. Excellent work. Oh, and rest. Oh, that was really energizing. Come out of there, come onto your hands and knees. If being on your hands and knees bothers your wrists, you can fold up 2 towels evenly, put one towel under each palm so that your palm is higher than your fingers. Let me show you it this way. That would be more comfortable for a lot of people, right? You can have your toes curled under, that's great. If it doesn't feel good, don't do that. You can also elevate your knees so it's less pressure on your feet in general. You're gonna bring your chin to your chest, tail to face, round your spine, curl back, relaxing your shoulders, easy. Come forward, chest up, extend, arch. Just 2 more there. Push the floor away from you, chin to chest, tail to face, round your spine. Really nice job, everyone. Come forward, chest up, tail up, arch. 1 more time. Again, easy, chin to chest, tail to face, push back, curl, and round. Really great job there. Come forward, chest up, tail up, arch, and then rest. Excellent work. So hopefully you really felt how one exercise focused on what I'll call the outer part of your shoulder and one part focused on what I'll call the inner, even though that's not quite exactly what's going on there. The other part was a bit more specific. You felt maybe the outer hip and then the inner hip or inner leg, right? If you didn't feel those things, I'm not trying to say you should feel those things. Just because you don't feel an exercise in a specific way doesn't mean that you're not doing it appropriately. What matters most is that you're moving the bones and joints in the patterns that are desired. That's the most important thing, and that you're comfort and stress-free. Those 2 things, right? Moving correctly, comfortable, and tension-free are the most important. Whether or not you feel it in a specific way is a whole separate issue, right? So don't think when I or someone else is trying to tell you how to feel things that that's how you should feel. That's kind of hard to communicate effectively. How important it is that you honor how you're feeling and maintain that sort of integrity. Just because someone else is telling you to feel something a certain way doesn't mean that that's how you should feel it specifically. Again, as long as you are comfortable and stress-free and moving the joints in the appropriate fashion, that's the most important thing. Over time, the feelings may or may not change. That does not matter. What's most important is doing the effective joint movement with stress, without strain or stress. I've talked a lot. My name is Eric. This is Nucleus Strength. I look forward to getting stronger with you in the future. Yours in good health. Take care.